We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com. YETicket.com.
Hey, this is Al McGee with your entertainment ticket at www.yeticket.com. The film I'm going to talk about right now is called Tomorrowland. Oh, that's right. This is a new film starring George Clooney. Haven't seen him in a while. But this is directed by Brad Bird. He also directed Ratatouille and one of the most beloved films for me, The Incredibles. Now, those are two animated films, but this is not an animated film. In fact, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story. At the beginning of the film, you see Frank, an older Frank, and he says, well, when he was growing up, things are a little bit different. But then it goes to Frank when he's a young man. He's entering the 1964 World's Fair in New York, and he has his invention with him, in fact, a flying machine. So he goes to a judge, which is played by Hugh, Laurie, and the judge is named David Nix, and he wants to enter the contest for the inventors. David Nix kept asking him questions. Why should he enter? What's the purpose of his flying machine and things like that? But Frank kept giving him answers, but not the type of answers that David Nix wanted. So he did not let him enter the contest. But there's a little girl standing right next to, David. Her name is Althena. And she sees Frank, pull him to the side, gives him a badge. She says, follow us, but don't let them see you. He does, and he enters Tomorrowland. This is a land where there are trains with no tracks. They seem to be flying, and everything is clean and bright and wonderful. But let's go to a few years later, or if you're in Tomorrowland, you're going back into the past. Get that? You see a young lady. Her name is Casey. Now, she is breaking into NASA, and she's destroying some property there at NASA. And the reason she's doing that, because her father's an engineer, and NASA is finally tearing down, the platforms and things like that, because there won't be no more NASA in this film. And her father is an engineer, which is played by Tim McGraw. But she receives a badge also, and she goes into Tomorrowland. She wanted more. But she couldn't find out a way to get more, so she finds someone who's selling the badge, who wants to buy the badge, and she goes to that town where the person wants to buy the badge, but finds out they're killer robots. They want to kill her. And then Althena shows up and takes her to meet an older Frank, but he's a hermit, and he's afraid of everything and everybody, and he's listening to everything, got every dish and everything in his house. But then the killer robots come, they try to kill him, but then they finally get to Tomorrowland through some contraptions and some good imagination, I will admit that. And they also mentioned 4 of the greatest inventors of all times, like Edison and Tesla. But when they get to Tomorrowland, it's different, and it's governed by David Nix, played by Hugh, Laurie. And, that's the gist of the story. But what I enjoyed was the ideas that the story was bringing out to me, a moviegoer, but a person. Remember, Disney made Disneyland because he had this idea it's going to be a utopia of people with new ideas to help our society. Remember, he had the monorail. Wow, that was new and different. We don't have that today in our society. And Disney also said, well, look, when he made Disneyland, wow, we're going to come up with all these things. It's a small world after all. Small world after all. That means everybody gets together. We get to know everything about every country from some way. So, yes, we do know that today, but it's so negative. And that's the other thing about this film, too. it talks about how you keep getting these negative thoughts and ideas where you cannot create anything better for our society. For example, you keep getting negative ideas about the weather, from religion, from schools. And one thing I like about Casey, she did say this: how can we fix it, or how can we change it? That's one thing I really enjoyed about Tomorrowland. I remember when I was growing up, we had the Jetsons on TV. I remember I was in 8th grade, and I was talking to my friends. I said, wow, I cannot wait to grow up to see the flying cars. And, teleporting people from one land to another in a few seconds. We don't have that. And also, I feel the greatest invention of all time was the sewer system. Don't let me get on that. Let me just talk about this review of this film, Tomorrowland. Now, the acting in this is very good. I felt that Brad Bird did a very good job. He also helped write this script and to convey these ideas, but also to do this story, this movie. There's some new and a couple of different things in this movie that I really enjoyed. The action was good, but this is PG, so it was not a lot of action, and there really wasn't any blood in this film also. Of course, no cursing. But they had some very good scenes in it. But I'm only going to give this 3 palm trees out of 4. Just 3 palm trees. It wasn't a perfect film, but what I enjoyed were really the ideas of having negative thoughts put up on you where you cannot create. You cannot do anything for our society. Tomorrowland is a film I feel everyone should watch. You might get something different out of it. You might just look at it just as a movie. I look at it as a training session for our society. And also, this is a big commercial for Disneyland. But this is the idea that Walt Disney had. What are we going to do for the future to make our lives, society's life, much better? Hey, thank you for watching Al McGee here at Your Entertainment Ticket. Keep watching for more movie reviews and interviews from me, Al McGee, at Your Entertainment Ticket, www.yeticket.com.
This is your entertainment ticket. Latest and greatest.